I'm in my hometown in Washington State, and it's a small town. It's middle of nowhere. And there isn't the best coverage out here, so hopefully it turns out well. But what I was wanting to do today is to interview Desiree and Alonto Mangandog for Reaching Blue Diamond, because they really did this at an incredible time. You know, in a month in the summer when a lot of teams are slowing down, they were accelerating. And I thought it was kind of funny because last week on our mastermind call, we were talking about what do you do to make sure that you continue growing in the summer, or how do you get momentum in the summer and things like that. And I thought it was interesting that Alonto, he just kind of said, there's no problem with the summer. And now in retrospect, looking back at it, it's like, yeah, that's because you and Desiree were growing extraordinarily fast to get to Blue Diamond. And so I want to invite I'm going to specifically invite the Diamonds, but if you have any questions for the Mangandogs that you think would be good, then hit *5*. But even others on the call, if you're not Diamond, if you have some burning questions of, okay, how did you do this, then please let's get that going. Okay. So first of all, I want to say to Alonto and Desiree, congratulations on reaching Blue Diamond. This is no small thing, as you probably found out. Was it as easy as you thought it would be?
No. I would say it's harder than Diamond. A lot harder than Diamond.
And why is that? What is hard about going blue? Like, what is the difference in what it requires of you?
You know, I will say it's a very different space than Diamond. You have to have the ability to truly inspire your leaders and help them through all of their gunk. I mean, all of their past, like, paradigms, how they viewed the world, because you're dealing with people who typically, you know, are used to being an employee and having a job and working hard for your every dollar and all of that. So it's a major shift, not just for us as the Blue Diamonds, but it's a major shift for all of our leaders. And that sometimes doesn't happen overnight. And, you know, fortunately, we have the oil to assist along in this process, but helping people to truly believe in themselves and believe in the dream and them taking ownership to a whole nother level, it's quite a feat, I would say that. And you're not talking about one or two people. You're talking about 5 individuals that completely transform how they view life, how they look at abundance, how they move from scarcity to abundance. And that is something that most people aren't ready to embark upon.
Yeah, Alonto, you actually were born in the Philippines, and you gave a very inspirational talk over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, at the Edge Leadership Summit. One of the things that you mentioned was that you had come from, you know, some a very, you know, area of the world where poverty is a big deal. You came to America. You didn't have a lot of the things. It was a difficult thing being here as a first generation American. And then you posed a question. You said many people would ask how I did it, but the most important question is why I did it in regards to going diamond. Why did you do this?
So on that question is really like once you hit diamond, you pretty much get into like a comfort zone of being able to attain like that financial freedom. And when it came to asking myself the question, why Blue Diamond? And when you're in that space of Blue Diamond, Presidential Diamond, is that ability to be able to influence and inspire others to dream bigger than what they could possibly do. And the amazing thing that I experienced and the journey that I've gone through of really living in like in an environment where extreme poverty is real, and coming to the U.S., and it's actually fitting that we just went through our Independence Day celebration, and what that means when it comes to freedom, what that means when it comes to really living out your purpose, living out like the gift and the talent that you have to provide to the world. For me, that was the biggest why I did what I did, or why we do what we do, because we believe in the gift and talent that lies within every single individual that we touch. Like, one of my affirmations is really like everything that I touch turns to diamond, like turns into this person that's able to live out their dream, live out their purpose of why they were put on this earth. And having that as my motivation, having that as my why, led to like that determination and that doing whatever it takes to get to where I want to be, so that others will also follow suit in what we were able to do. Because at the end of the day, if I can do it, if this first-generation immigrant, barely knowing English, coming to the frozen tundra of Michigan, living in a basement for like the beginning parts of our life in the U.S., to now becoming like the one percenters, like I couldn't have imagined like that life for me. But that opportunity is available for every single person that decides to take that ownership. And I wanted to attain that for myself, but more to be an example for others to also step up in a big way to go for their dreams, go for the thing that they're passionate about, and live it out and make the world a better place.
That's a fantastic, fascinating reason why. Desiree, this concept of that Alonto described of helping people reach their divine mission and purpose and to inspire people to live up to that, is that also what drove you to is that your why in this process?
Oh my God, that question just makes me want to cry. It is. For me, doTERRA has really been a journey of self-discovery and knowing who I am and what I'm capable of. And I've always known since I was a little girl that I was meant to create major change. I've always known. I mean, at 19 years old, I was teaching people about colon cleansing and like educating people about the food production in college. And I did a presentation showing like poop, like, about how like people have 10 years of impacted fecal matter in their intestines. At 19, I was so passionate. You know, it's just interesting to watch. I look back at my childhood and see how much I was so determined to make a difference and to educate. I love teaching, and that is what this whole journey, Diamond, Blue Diamond, and Presidential, and so forth, and whatever. It's really been about finding myself and knowing what I can do, and to think that one person could create so much change. And if every single individual stepped into that space, imagine if all the billions of people really stepped into that space, what would the world look like? It's incredible. And it is painful, too, to watch so many people self-sabotage and so many people complain and whine and criticize and judge and blame. It's just, it breaks my heart because nobody needs to go into that space. We can all feel this worthiness and feel empowered and be our best self. And that is something, I have high standards. I will never live anything below my best self. That I can promise.
You mentioned that this is it's kind of an interesting thing that you're describing, all of this, you know, because it's because sometimes when you hear this, you're thinking, okay, so what does this have to do with essential oils? You know, because I'm listening to you and Alonto, and I'm like, all of this is really fascinating because but it's high. It's a bigger thing than just essential oils. However, if anybody's listened to the Monday calls, they know that you are the biggest advocate of the oils. What role does passion for the oils play in this process of going Blue Diamond?
Well, it's unique for me because of my understanding of health and my Chinese medical background, but I have never seen anything like these essential oils to create change in the body. I've really left my practice. I mean, I'm still licensed and stuff, but I don't need the needles anymore. I don't need the herbs anymore. I mean, I like to use them once in a while, but it's not necessary because I tell people when I do 5 minutes of oils on the body, that's equivalent to like 25 sessions of acupuncture treatment. It is, they vibrate so high, they create that kind of a shift and change. And I really believe that every home will have oils, and it's up to us to make that happen. And these oils are also what allowed me to grow and change. And fortunately, I've come to learn the deeper aspects of these oils. And you know me, I'm a proponent of spiritual and emotional wellness. And I learned that in the past year with the oils. I didn't even know about it in the first couple of years. I started experimenting and playing around and started getting tremendous results. So that's why I'm focusing so heavily on that, because once you understand your emotional well-being, once you can work through self-worth issues, self-confidence issues, getting rid of all these fears, this is all a feeling, guys. If you can shift that out of your body and step into feeling empowered and confident and driven and knowing your purpose and having clarity. Like I have a blend in my book called Clarity. If you're always confused and don't know what you need to do or where to go, I have a blend for that. And when you get into that space, it's very, very easy to progress. It's very easy to move forward. And these blends are not just for doTERRA builders, but it's for everyone. Because there are singers that are waiting to be born. There are teachers that are waiting to be born. There are architects and painters, actors, and it's their fears that stop them. And if you can address that and get rid of that, oh my goodness, I see a world where every single individual lives out their divine purpose. And these oils, of course, prayer, I believe prayer can do it alone. You don't necessarily need oils. But most people feel like they need to put something on them to create change. But I do know this. The oils can do this. I've seen it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for other people. I work with so many people every day, a lot every day, and I love it. It's amazing. So, yes, these oils are critical. But you know what's even more important than that is your compassion, is your willingness to get to know somebody, your willingness to be there, to be a friend, and your willingness to explore these different options with these oils, for example, and to be there for them and help them and guide them and cry with them, laugh with them, be on a journey with them. And that's what we're doing with doTERRA is we're building communities again, because this world is screaming and crying for love, for support, for help, because so many people feel isolated and so many people feel alone. And I will not tire until everybody realizes that there are others that love and care about them.
Wow.
And to hop on that kind of bandwagon too is really at the core of it, the foundation is the oil, right? And I want everyone to take this note is that it's from Tony Robbins, and he says decisions shape your destiny. And the driver for decisions is emotion. And that's really like where the oils kind of come into play, and one of the most the best ways to utilize the oils is to affect the emotions when it comes to well-being of the individual. And if you don't have that, if you don't have like emotional well-being, emotional IQ, then and since that's a driver to the decisions that you make, you're not going to make decisions that are going to shape the destiny that you're wanting to achieve. And it's not going to get you closer to where you need to be. So at the core of it, we have literally the best thing made on earth to help us achieve the life that we want. Like no other company has this. No other organization has this. And we have it. We have it at our fingertips. And all you got to do is open your, like, you don't even have to open your mouth. Just open the bottle and let the oil do what they do.
Now, one thing that I have found in reaching blue diamond as opposed to diamond, it's a totally different animal, isn't it? It's not. They really aren't the same. They're very, very different. But the difference that I saw was that when you reach diamond, you need to have basically 16 people on your team in the right spots, all growing, all building. You know, that you have to have 4 people who are trying to reach silver, and each of those 4 people have 3 people that need to hit elite, 16 people diamond. And that does create the financial, you know, blessing that a lot of us are seeking. And then you got to get to blue, and that's 5 teams of, let's see here, you got your gold, and then and the gold has 3 leaders who each have 2 leaders, so that's 3 to 9, 10. So there's about over 50 people on your team in the right spots, all working towards their goals. And that requires you, it kind of, what it does is it makes you realize that it's beyond you. You can't do it alone. And so you have to be able to inspire leaders on your team to start leading in the way that they can, which is hard. It's really hard. So how did you do that? How did you shift from, you know, okay, I've got 16 people that I've got to be leading to, we actually have to lead an army of 50 leaders who then have to lead others. What shifts did you have to make that a reality?
I personally feel like it's the same for me in terms of the leading part, whether it was for diamond or blue diamond. I just kept at it, Seth. Like I never stopped. And here's the other thing. It's very easy to get discouraged when you're involved with that many people. Here's a good answer. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of personalities. It's a lot of different issues, different fears. Different people get offended in different ways. And oh my goodness, like there is bound to be in that. Wow, what is that? Sorry. Okay, so there's bound to be a lot of drama in that, and this is another part of fighting myself was recognizing that when drama does emerge, okay, that to not take it personally, because I'm always being my best self. I'm always being my best self, and you know, but you just can't take it personally. Realize that in that space, people are in the process of growing. A lot of their stuff is coming to the surface, and to be graceful with it and to respect them and love them where they're at no matter what happens. And for me, you know, I use a lot of oils in terms of protection for myself, energetic protection. And because I do that, I'm able to continue and push forward. I feel like some people in the higher ranks, they get very exhausted. They get very emotionally exhausted because they take everything personally, and then they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this anymore, right? And but when you have that space of protection, and you know who you are, and you're filled. For me, you know, it's the Holy Spirit, it's God. I'm filled from Him. I'm not filled from people. Then it's simple. It's simple to manage working with that many individuals. The bathroom. Oh, somebody doesn't have their line muted. So for me, I think, because I never change anything that I do, I'm still sharing the same way that an elite person shares. I mean, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit better with my words, but I'm still sharing. I am still teaching classes every week. The basic class, the same class that an elite is sharing, nothing different. And so when you realize that it's just the repetition of it, over and over again for 3 years. If you do that multiple times a week for 3 years, let me tell you, it's inevitable that diamond and blue diamond and presidential happens. It's inevitable. I just, I've had my days where I need to take a break and go cry it out or something. But in the end, I'm protected, I'm filled, and so that I have the strength. I have the strength to keep going, and that's something I've noticed that some people have difficulty with, and that's what I love to teach people is how to protect themselves so they don't take all that stuff personally.
Fascinating. Okay, so we have a couple of people. Oh, go ahead, Alonto.
So for me, it was really like transitioning from a belief in like my purpose to a belief in my influence, right? And when it comes to that, is really lending that belief in the purpose that you now are living out, like so we were living out as diamonds, to people that were wanting to achieve their purpose, to utilize your influence as a person, like transitioning from diamond to blue and blue to presidential, to allow them to believe that about themselves, to allow the leaders to develop that belief about themselves that they can accomplish their higher purpose in life. And knowing the things that we know that we are great at doing and focusing on those activities to be able to leverage the rank, the status, all these things that we were able to achieve, to now to give that to our leaders, to be able to empower them to do the things that we're doing. Because it's that monkey see, monkey do aspect of what we do, is that we keep it simple, we keep it duplicatable so that others can see us in a way where, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And not so in that space where, oh my God, I can never do what Desiree is doing, or I can never do what Alonto is doing, because they do it with such passion, they do it with such charisma or inspiration or whatever it is that people point out, to use an excuse so that they don't have to go forth and do that. So to identify the simplicity in the process and to identify their gifts and talents, what they're amazing at, and allow them to foster that aspect of themselves to grow to that level of leadership that we all believe every single person has this gift. Every single person has this talent. And if you want to make the step towards accomplishing that, then we'll do whatever it takes to help you get there.
Awesome. You know, the thing that's pretty incredible about what I'm hearing from both of you is that the work by and large stays the same as far as what you're doing. You know, to go from elite to diamond to blue diamond, it's still found in the simplicity of teaching, sharing with others the oils, teaching them how to use it, keeping it simple so others can do it. But there's a difference here, and what I keep hearing is that it's about belief. It's about belief in the product. It's about belief in yourself and your divine mission and purpose. The belief in others. It's a belief in their divine mission and purpose. It's a belief that you can actually help people reach that when you believe in your influence to do that. And it's kind of like I was talking to my sister Jacqueline today, and we were discussing how the entire thing of doTERRA it's a mind game. And there's all of these different mind games that we play, and it's like, and I was like, well, what are those mind games, and which games do you have to win? And it's kind of cool as I'm hearing you, because it's just like, yeah, the game is you believe in yourself and in others.
Yes, that's it.
and in your influence to help them become their best selves, and you along the way too. And it's kind of like, if you believe in you, then, you know, it's like, anyway, you believe in you, therefore you have to believe in others. And anyway, it's awesome. We do have hands raised.
Okay, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Yes, we do the same activities, right? And the difference is how we carry ourselves. The difference, like you said, is the belief in ourselves and the product, the company, and all of that. And so, we people love to hear how I grew to diamond in a year. And, I share 2 samples a day, 5 days a week for a couple of months, and then bam, it happened. Well, you've got to understand one thing. I was in a very excited, driven, motivated. Like, I found my purpose. When I found doTERRA, I was like, oh, this is the thing I've been praying for and waiting for my whole life. I've been praying 10 years for something like this. So when you get an answered prayer that took 10 years, you get a little excited. And so the space that I was sharing was unbelievably attractive. So it's not just the activity of, okay, make sure I give out 10 samples a week. Who are you? How are you being in those activities when you hand that sample over? And that's the thing that I'm passionate about the most, is helping people to get in a space of openness rather than congested by limiting beliefs and self-sabotage. But get in that space of openness and then move forward and start sharing those 10 samples a week. And watch, your one meeting with someone, they'll be a builder all of a sudden. It'll be amazing. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Exactly right. Because sometimes people are like, I just can't find builders, and you're like, well, you realize this has everything to do with you, right? Because you change the way with which you go about doing the same activities as the rest of us, meaning you changed your belief pattern in all of that, and in your purpose in this, well, yeah, people are going to want to join you because they want to be with you. All right. Heidi, you had your hand raised. What question do you have?
Yeah, thanks, Seth. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you kind of started it when you asked about the leaders and having leaders in key spots and having this many leaders. And so I'm kind of a baby in doTERRA still. I'm a gold. And so I'm wondering if you made it to Blue Diamond with the same people that you originally started with. My experience so far has been, if you're growing a little bit faster and maybe they're still working through stuff, some are probably going to follow you through on that journey. What was your experience with that, and how much energy did you put into your, kind of making sure your frontline people were the people that were going all the way with you versus being on maybe your second, third, or whatever level?
Yeah, Alonto, Desiree, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Alonto, you go. You answer.
Okay, so let me just clarify the question. Is that what different activities, or how did we open up our circle beyond like the original leaders that we had to get to where we're at?
I think she's asked. Sorry, hold on one second. That phone is. Oh, hold on. Okay. What she was asking is did you get to Blue Diamond with the same leaders you started with?
Yeah.
So we started with our core 4, and then our 5th leg was a year and a half ago, basically 18 months, when they first joined. So with the given time frame that we have, I would consider that to be like our core leaders that we went to, and we just basically built underneath that aspect of it, and helping them to grow progressively to like the levels that they were wanting to go. So from like the very beginnings of like silver to stepping out into a gold organization, and we even have a platinum and a diamond leaders in our organization. And basically, with the original people that we had, we believed in them at the very beginning. We believe that through their commitment and through the actions that they showed us, we developed them and also in whatever way that we could help them in a way to get to where they wanted to be and to also help us do the same thing.
Let me actually just say, just for Heidi's sake, because some of the people that I reached Diamond with were not the same people that I went Blue Diamond with, and all sorts of things kind of caused that to happen. Like, for example, one of my leaders that was Silver that helped me go Diamond, her husband got cancer and ended up passing away. And so during that time, there was about a year where they were completely unengaged because they were just trying to either, beat the cancer that ended up not working. But I did start working with someone underneath of them that I had enrollership of that eventually helped me reach Blue Diamond and has been a financial blessing to that family anyway. And so don't feel like you have to get where you're going with the exact people you start with. You really work with those who want to do it. Janet Marquez, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to, I do have a question, but first of all, I really want to just tell Desiree and Alonto, you guys are inspiring to me and to so many people. And I want to testify of Desiree, what she said about the excitement that she has about the oils is so true. I mean, you watch this girl at leadership going up to, she didn't care if you were a Blue Diamond or if you were an owner in the company. She was putting oils on you. She was helping you feel better and progress and move forward. Like, this girl, guys, is so powerful. And it doesn't matter, of course, you're going to be successful because you care about everyone. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. My question actually is to Alonto. I'm so impressed with how you guys work together as a couple. And Alonto, how have you, in knowing how Desiree just is openly out there with every single person, how have you been able to kind of still feel the confidence and feel your niche without feeling like intimidated or anything like that? Like, how have you guys, I guess my question is, how have you guys been able to come together and find your own niches but yet build this business together?
So,
go ahead.
I thank you for that testimony. And really it's, again, a testimony of what Desiree has been for me. And really it sets that, example of, what the oils mean and how they have, changed our lives. And, being kind of an observer for the very first couple months of when she was on this, passionate and purposeful, sharing phase, I was able to witness that. I was able to take that all in and see, the fruits of, the actions and the things that she was doing. And through that process of observing, through that process of knowing, that these things are working, I kind of went back to, my original contacts and duplicated what she did. So started sharing in a way that it was almost in my baby phase, in my very beginnings when it comes to sharing the oils, teaching the classes, doing membership overviews, doing business overviews, because I came in with a lot of leadership kind of background, right? Being a former military officer, working in the engineering sector as a lead, and doing all that stuff, and having even an MBA. So I knew the business aspect of how to be successful and the leadership aspect of how to be successful. But it was in the developing of the foundations when it comes to the basics of using the oils, being a testimony to the power and the benefits of the oils, and to teaching the classes, to sharing samples, to even doing membership overviews and business overviews, is when everything kind of came together and when everything kind of synergistically came together, because people that were originally like watching me noticed the difference, the transition that I made, that, hey, I was this person before and now I'm this transformed person, and what that journey looked like and what that took. And they're totally sold out to me now and believe what I have to say because of the journey that I went through. And to literally utilize the best gifts and talents that each of us possess and capitalizing on that and utilizing that to the best of our ability, so that if I'm excellent at mentoring and I'm excellent at like the grasping of the thinking aspect of how can I wrap my head around this, then I'm the person to talk to. But if it's something emotional, it's something that is natural and Desiree is amazing with, then she deals with it. She goes with it. And that's kind of the back and forth of how we work together while utilizing the best gifts and talents that we both possess individually.
Thank you, Alonto. I loved the fact that, this is advice that I've given a lot of people, and it's pretty dang hard to live up to that because most people just won't. But the fact that you went, okay, Desiree went and did this, now I'm going to take what she's done and go to my network and start building building my own network. I think that's fantastic. That's awesome.
So guys can do it too. Men can do it too.
Yeah, it's kind of like so many times the other spouse gets involved and then they're like, well, here, with the network that your spouse built, but a lot of times there isn't a relationship there. And so you have to go and cut your teeth building it just like everybody else did and earn the right to mentor everybody else. I just think that's important. Freaking awesome, in fact. Okay. Angie Archibald has her hand raised. Angie, I just unmuted your line. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so congratulations. Question for you. I'm hoping that you can give us some guidance. I'm a gold leader right now, and I've been talking to some of my leaders that they've been trying to progress as well. And the feeling that we've discussed lately is sort of a fear of being able to even manage more people than we currently are, and to be able to continue to educate and support a team larger than we have. And I think that's something you guys have done a really good job with. I've listened to you on several calls talk about how your team is like a family and how your cross-line leaders support each other and how you've been able to have events and communication with your team where everybody, like, I don't feel like you guys are carrying the weight by yourselves somehow. I think there's this awesome community that you've created. And so I wonder if you could give us some advice on that, on how to support your team as it grows without having to never see your family or have your own personal health decline because you're taking care of so much. Does that make sense?
I love that question. That's an excellent question, Angie. I'll start. So, yes, we don't carry it all ourselves. And you know what? I don't care what kind of leader you are, whether it's silver, elite, or blue diamond, or presidential. It's actually not our responsibility to carry our team. Does that make sense? It's their lives. It's their choice. My job is only to be me, okay, who I am, and then bring out the greatness within each of them. And so my team, they own their team. They take care of it, and they do the same thing to their leaders. They inspire them. I'm not here going, rah, 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 you can do it, you can do it. Like, it's not about that. It's not about that. So whether somebody decides to build or not, I'm unattached. And let's say one of my current leaders, they start to back off. You know what? I'm actually unattached because I respect and honor where they're supposed to be. So when you don't feel like you're responsible for everyone, you can grow big. But when you like take everything to heart, if someone is saying, oh my goodness, it's just so difficult for me, like I don't buy into their sob stories. I don't buy into the victim, the whining, the complaining, this isn't working. Like I don't buy into that. And because I don't buy into, they know that. I'm not going to sit down and listen to everybody complain. And some people say I'm mean, and I don't care. I'm being very honest. I need to whip them to shape and get them out of that space. I have to get them out of that space. So when you know that, in all honesty, like my belief is, these are God's people. God, you're responsible, not me. Like I just do my part and inspire them to do their part. And so then I don't feel like, oh my goodness, if they're not successful, it's my fault. I mean, yeah, to a certain degree, but it's really not. It's their own lives. And then on top of that, you're right. Across lines, they have excellent communication, and they work together so well because, I have my gifts that I provide, but everyone on my team, they have their own gifts that are tremendous, amazing, that I learn from and I get to benefit from. I need them too. So when you create that family environment, you really don't feel like you're shouldering everything on your own. So that's kind of my take on it. But, honey, go ahead. What do you have to say on that?
Yeah, and really what you're describing, Angie, is the difference between enabling and empowering, right? So, like, your worry of, like, oh, my God, I have to manage all these people, I have to be responsible for all these people, because you're thinking that it's all coming from you, right? And I love this lesson of, like, a cup of water. Like, pretend that you're a cup of water, and the people around you are dying of thirst. And you're giving out of emptiness. So you can only help so many people. You can only help, like, what you have in your cup. But now if you're talking about empowerment, and the first and foremost is that you have to have water to give. You have to be filled up yourself with all the things that you need, kind of like that whole thing in the plane where help yourself before you help others so that you don't pass out while you're helping someone else. It's the same mentality, is that now if you're able to empower others to take responsibility for their own organization and to get them to believe in the greatness that they possess, now you're no longer managing, and now you're leading. Now the burden is off you, and it's really you're guiding them. You're there for them to support, but you're not carrying them on your back. You're allowing them to fly, and maybe the first time they'll stumble, but eventually they'll learn how to fly. They'll learn how to soar on the wings of eagles, like if you want to be like poetic about it. And really that's what we look for as far as like being big leaders in doTERRA, is that I love how Rod would say, it was like, man, I got diamond or blue diamond problems or presidential diamond problems because no one wants to talk to me anymore. No one wants to hear what I have to say, because the leaders that I have are all taking ownership of their organization. They're leading in their own way, and they're even becoming better than me. So that's actually my goal, is to get them to a point where they're even better than me. They surpass me in what they have to do, because that's the mark of a true leader, is to be able to step out of the limelight when it comes time for them for their leaders to step into it, if that makes sense.
Great answers, Alonto and Desiree. You guys rock that. And I want to be a second witness to what they're saying because I realize that as Angie, I think you're a gold right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Just so you know, that's the hardest part. Because I can see why when you're at the point you are at, if you're wondering, my word, can I handle any more than this? And the reason why is because you are the strongest leader of your organization. You're the one that's driving everything that's happening right now in your team. You're the one that's making it all happen. But in order for you to get to the higher ranks, the leaders underneath of you have to start stepping up. And when that happens, there's shifting burdens, right? Like it's like all of a sudden the people that are on your team have to start going through the testing fires, the trials of becoming diamond, which includes this period you're describing where you feel like you're carrying the weight of it all on you. But that does start to shift. And so please don't think that, oh my gosh, I'm saying this for the sake of everybody else on the call. If you think that when you get to the higher ranks that it just means that you have more of a burden, that's not the case because of what Alonto and Desiree just talked about. The burden starts to be shared by more and more leaders who start going through that process as well. Yeah, don't even worry about it.
And I think you'll find that, the higher the ranks as you accomplish them, there is less work. There's less work.
Yeah.
It's not so much about the doing and the doing. I mean, we're still doing, obviously. It's not like we're just sitting around all day. But I don't do more than maybe 2, max 3 hours a day of doTERRA work. More maybe like 2. It's more like 2. And it's not so much the doing, it's the being. It's the being. It's who you are. So at these ranks, this is where, if you thought you had to do a lot of personal development, getting up to silver and gold, let me tell you. Going diamond, blue diamond, that is like intense. You should be focusing way more on personal development, self-care. I don't beat my body down and break it down. I do 3 hours of self-care today. I get massages, I get pedicures, I read, I write, I go to the pool. I do whatever I need to do, exercise, take a bath to take care of myself. Because it's funny, the more you are calm, the more you're peaceful, and the more you love yourself. That is when people are drawn to you. When you're all frazzled and stressed out like that, people are not drawn to that. They already live in that. They don't want more of that. That makes sense.
True. Great answer. Hey, we have time for one more question, and there's a 619 area code. I just unmuted your line. What is your name and what is your question?
I'm Desiree, and I don't have a question. I'm one of Desiree and Alonto's original builders. And I just want to say that I actually raised my hand before your last comment, Des and Alonto. So basically you said everything I wanted to say, except for that, for all those out there, I have to say that one of the good things that Desiree and Alonto did was allow us to be us. I'm going to cry. Desiree, I've been friends with Desiree long before doTERRA. She was my friend and she was my acupuncturist. And then I joined her. And one of the things that she always emphasized with us was that as her first leaders, we were a team with her. She wasn't our manager. She wasn't even anything other than a partnership with her. And she used to tease me because of my love for research and my love for learning and my love for teaching. And now I see her doing all of that. She used to tease our family because we were the party planners and wanted everything big and perfect. And she let us do that. She let us start planning her first big event. And she used our gift in that. And so I want to thank her for being part of the journey, but I also want everybody out there to know that she actually let us grow in our own gifts and talents and bringing them to her and her team, which just made all of us stronger and all of us better. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Jeree.
So, hey, Jeree has actually got me, that's really inspiring. I actually want to ask if there's anybody else on the call who are on Desiree and Alonto's team that you know of things that they did that helped you reach where you're at, which obviously helped them get where they're at. I'd love to hear from you for the last little bit. So if you're on Desiree and Alonto's team and you would like to share some things that they did that helped you so that you could help them get where they're at, we'd love to have a hand raised if you're out there. And if you have, here we go. Okay. 574 area code, go ahead.
Hi, this is Jessica from the Indiana Edge.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Okay, so when I was first getting interested in doTERRA, Mary, who is our diamond leader in Indiana, I was going over there and asking millions of questions, I think like 20 times I went over there, and she had me do a Skype session with Desiree. And Desiree was kind of interviewing me and asking me questions and writing things down, which was a little weird for me at the time. I was like, why are you writing down what I'm saying? But I was serving tables, and I was kind of scattered, and I kind of had all these gifts that I wasn't really using. And when she was looking at what I was doing with how I was making money, she kind of was like, oh, we'll be able to get rid of this, this serving job in no time. And I kind of was like, what is wrong with this woman? Like, that's how I survive. That's where I make money. That's, like, my guarantee to just get by. And what she did was she kind of just helped me. She didn't tell me my gifts, but she helped me and gave me space to even, look that it was capable for me to earn a living by sharing my gifts. And there's a billion things that Desiree and Alonto have done for us and me personally, but I think that they just help show the way, and they really believe in me. They believe in who they interact with, and they definitely help you get to be that person. And they don't tell you what to do. They just believe in you, and they give you pointers and guidance. But just to echo what Dree was saying, they definitely help you just find your own light. And I can feel the difference of who I am. And I just remember thinking how completely crazy this woman on Skype was, and now I'm telling people the same thing. And so I'm eternally grateful to be a part of this group.
That's awesome, Jessica. Thanks for that. And I love these comments because it's not Alonto and Desiree talking about what they did. It's you guys confirming everything that they said they did. And so thank you. Sarah, what do you have to share?
So a lot of what Jessica just said and Jeree, they've just always been very real with us and not made any claim that this is easy, it's tough, cry it out, and then call me in the morning, We're not going to quit on a bad day, It's okay, get your emotions out and move on, which is kind of how I am too. And it's always been nice to just be real. And I love the shift that when Alonto came in, where now they do have a more defined roles. Like when my husband and I have more business questions, although we do overlap some, we go to Alonto. And when I have other questions, emotional, or if I need help, I go to Desiree. And I pull them in a lot since they're in San Diego right now, as often as I can, just to, leverage their skills and their ability. And I just appreciate that they've, if they can be there, they're there. And I know it helps us grow. But just the realness, the passion, the excitement. When I first got involved, I'm one of the very, very small percentage, I think, of people that got involved in the business portion right from the very beginning, from day one. And I had no idea what network marketing really was. I didn't care. It was the passion of Desiree sitting on my couch explaining, what could be is what actually got me. I actually knew not a lot about essential oils, but I was already using them with a different company. And I was actually just going to get information from her about how to use what I already had. And a few days later, I'm enrolled and I'm doing the business. So, and we've been going, ever since. And it's just because they're there for us, I think, has been a lot of it.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
Rebecca, go ahead. Rebecca?
Sorry, I think I'm in a bad spot. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay, hi guys, it's Becca. So I don't know if there's anything that I could do that directly influences Desiree and Alonto's advancement because I'm not on their front line, but I'm on Jerie's front line, so I'm a silver leader on her front line. But what Desiree did for me in the very beginning, because Jerrie was not doing the business at first, was she right away showed me the compensation plan and explained that fully to me. And then once she knew that I got the compensation plan, it was all, this is Desiree now, not Alonto, but Desiree was all about emotional development, like freeing you emotionally, because she knows that that is the way that we're all going to really experience true growth as leaders, is to, you know, get rid of the baggage of our past. And so Desiree is very heavily invested in our emotional well-being, and I think as leaders that's very inspirational, that is our role for our leaders, is how are we helping them let go of those things that will keep dragging them down, and how are we investing in them in that aspect. And then for Alonto, I mean, they work together, but they have separate gifts and qualities that they bring to the team. And for Alonto, what he does for the advancement of his team is that he will call us together as Jerrie and her front line. And then when he has a nugget to share that he knows will further our growth, he calls us together to share like this, you know, amazing thing that he just learned that he wants to teach us as a team. But he'll do that, you know, with such passion, and it's so inspiring when he just gets his frontline leader out together with their frontline leaders. So I think that's key also is, are you gathering, for your growth, are you gathering your frontline leaders and their frontline leaders individually, and then pouring into them. So thank you guys. I'm very, very proud of you and excited for what this means to the whole team and for the future of all of our teams. So love you guys.
Love you. Thank you.
Okay, last comment comes from Mary Sisti, and then we'll and before she says this, I want to thank you, Desiree, for your fantastic interview and advice, the golden advice that you've given us. So thank you. Mary, go ahead.
Okay. So, I don't know how I'm going to do this without crying. So, pretty much what I need to say is the fact that Desiree and I have known each other for a very long time, spawning from college years. I was probably the one subject that listened to what she had to say about poop. She put me on a colon cleanse at age 19, so I know exactly her journey with health and wellness. And she showed me, this little Indiana girl, how to embrace health and wellness from the very beginning. And I've been very healthy ever since, for the most part, despite, you know, my Italian side coming out and cooking and baking, and that's what we do. But I'll get to the point here. So she's been there for me through everything. She's seen the highs and she's seen the lows, and she's still there. And I feel like I'm the same for her. I've seen the real bad lows, and I'm here for praising her for the highs, and I'm here to celebrate her. And Alonto as well, you know, along for the ride. He has been there through her, you know, lows, and I've seen, you know, when they got married and how high that was with her, and seen her progress throughout her whole marriage, and also, you know, raising her children. And I feel like this is a true friendship, but also she knows just how much my team, my girls, mean to me. And if I ask her to be there, she'll say when, and she'll be there. And I feel like that's a true leader right there, to be there, even when it doesn't matter. You know, we're praising her for Blue Diamond, but also I love her heart and where she's at when people aren't looking. And she's there. Through
everything, not just me, but my girls. If they're having a hard day, there's a consultation that will be had with Desiree on the phone and without my knowledge. And she'll tell me, what's happening with my team, how to support her or him through things, through struggles. And so she knows she's present for them as much as I am for them. So I really, truly value that. And I honor that so much. And I love her. And this couldn't have happened to a better couple. So congratulations, guys. We love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
I just want you both to know that there are more hands raised. There are more people that want to talk and express their appreciation to both of you. I think that is the lesson that we all need to learn from this. Servant leadership is how you get this done. Thankful for everybody in your comments. Congratulations to the Mangandogs for their incredible success, and we'll see you all next week.